For anybody who's been watching college football for any period of time, Georgia-Florida means something. It's a rivalry. It's an interesting game, and then they play a neutral site in Jacksonville. Typically produces a ton of NFL players, an SEC marquee game. Not a whole lot of luster this time around with Florida struggling at 3-3, and Georgia looks like by far the class of the SEC Eastern Division. Couple touchdown spread on this one. The Gators and the Dogs getting it on.
So in this rivalry game, we've seen a lot of weird things happen. Underdogs have won in this game often. Florida has covered 4 straight in this series. That's an interesting thing to keep in mind. This is one of the better rivalries in all of college football, but the Gators offense is just completely inept at this point, and a lot of it falls not necessarily on Jim McElwain, but on the suspensions of those key players who have still not suited up all season long. There was some development in that case this week, but it's not changing the status of guys like Antonio Callaway and Jordan Scarlett. They're not going to suit up. Florida's offense can't move the football. They're averaging less than 1 touchdown pass per game. That's not going to get it done against a Georgia team that controls the clock with its running game and is flying around the field all over the place on defense, creating turnovers. It's just, I mean, Georgia is one of the most elite teams in the country, and I think they're a half step below Alabama, probably the closest to Alabama of anyone in the country. I don't see Florida scoring many points in this game. The line is around 14, actually came down to 13.5 at one point, meaning some people do like Florida in this spot. This doesn't feel like a letdown to me for Georgia. And Kirby Smart earlier this week, this is a great story. Kirby Smart actually, in a team meeting, I don't know if this was Monday or whenever, basically asked every player in the room to stand up if they had beaten Florida. And not a single player stood up. So he's clearly motivating his guys to go out and not to worry about the bigger picture or what may be down the line for them against Auburn in a couple weeks or potentially the SEC championship game. They're focused on this Florida game. I think that they hammer the Gators. I think this is 38-7 written all over it.